Warning. Prolonged listening to this show has been known to cause side effects such as excessive winning, making money, getting jacked, and loving life. Tune in at your own risk. And now, without further ado, welcome to The Spencer Clay Show.
What is going on, my friends? Spencer Clay's here, and today in our State of the Union are some topics that I really wanted to talk about over the last couple weeks. You know, it's been a minute since we last talked, and this is good. You know, I wanted to kind of speak my mind, and there's a lot of things that just kind of been going on. It's just I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So let's talk about it. So first thing on the agenda, we have just a couple of little maintenance things I want to skim over, and then we'll kind of dive into the main meat and potatoes of today's of this video / podcast, wherever you're listening to this. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, it doesn't really matter. But, you know, the first thing is just inflation is fucked. Politics are fucked. Like, all that shit. Like, anytime I'm just scrolling, especially Instagram is really bad. Because Instagram, you tend to, follow certain people. And even, you might not hear from them for months. But then all of a sudden, they're going to share some bullshit. And you're like, unfollow, don't want to see that. But it just becomes monotonous, you know, all these, especially all the big meme pages too, they'll sell out for something stupid. But the point of all that shit is you cannot control anything. You cannot control what other people are doing. You can't control any of that. So, even focusing on it, so this is where it can be hard, because this is one of my dreams to be someday would just be open up a gym, not because I particularly care about opening up a gym, but just be able to turn off all the fucking TVs, have no TVs on. Like, in my book, there should be only, I think I posted this a while ago, only, 80s era, Schwarzenegger movies or films, playing in the background. There should be no, women's soccer or women's sports or politics or even any sort of news, just does not belong in the gym. The gym should be a healthy place to grow and, manufacture your own powerful energy. And because energy is real, and that's another thing I want to talk about today. Energy is absolutely real. And you need to be, holding on to every bit of energy that you can and pouring it out in the correct way. So that's why I make this podcast and videos like this, is you're able to put your energy into a video. That's why some of the most powerful, popular people in the world have so much money, because they've stored their energy in videos and stuff. Think about Tom Cruise or something. He's made how many movies or something, but he's done the work once, and then, you know, he's been able to use his energy into those endeavors. And so business is the same thing. Whether you're starting a cleaning business, pressure washing, whatever business, you need to put your energy into something that can actually make you money, because that's where a lot of people go wrong with their job. They're putting their energy into something that's just shitty. It's just fucked. There's the quote that I mentioned before, it's not how hard you row, it's what boat you're in. That's Warren Buffett. He said that. So you can be the hardest fucking worker at your job, but if you're in a shitty boat, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to go as fast. Versus you actually being in a big ass boat or a cruise ship or something. You're the little captain. You know, you're piloting that fucking cruise ship, a lot farther. So, the energy thing is just something that we'll talk a little about later, because just in general, the whole politics. I know, and I'm dreading it too. And here in America, the election is coming up, so we have to see that bullshit everywhere. It even fucking matters. Obviously, yeah, we're gonna vote for whoever, but or whoever, whatever. But it doesn't matter. Either way, whoever wins, it's nothing's gonna change. Nothing's really gonna change. You really think that one person is actually gonna be able to do anything? It's just, you know, the way things are set up in this country. It's just getting worse. You know, inflation is just getting crippling. So that's the main message that I want to put out into as far as that. If you don't have a business right now, or if you're not looking to start a business, or at least a side hustle or some extra way to make money, you're fucked, man. I have no idea what else to tell you. You should probably just turn this show off right now, because you're fucked, dude. Try buying a house, try buying a car, try buying groceries soon, man. Things are literally 20 times more expensive, it feels like. Inflation is going to murder us all if we don't take action. And the only thing that you can do is make more money, which is an awesome thing. You know, it is the cure all in my brain. Make more money. And some people kind of look at me crazy when I'm just say, just make more money. Just make more money. But it should become your motto, and it's become my motto. Because anytime I have a problem, I just kind of take a deep breath, just make more money. Whether it's taxes, whether it's, buying shit or whatever, just make more money. Just go out, do more jobs. That's the beautiful part about like the business that I have and the business that I've started, cleaning business or like roof cleaning or gutter cleaning, whatever it is. If I need more money, I'll just go clean another gutter, clean another roof. I'll just clean an extra one that day. Or if I happen to have a day off, maybe don't take a day off. Go do a $500 job that day. You have the power, you have the ability to make as much money as you want. And when I say as much as you want, people like think I'm talking about like drop shipping or something like, oh, I can make $100,000 in a day. Like, no, just with a reason. Like, this business is amazing as like a stepping stone to like in other adventures or whatever else you want to do, because obviously no one grows up, they want to start a gutter cleaning business. That's not like their main goal in life. But like, if you can do it, make like an extra 5, 6, 8 grand, 10 grand a month, or even more, 12 grand a month, cleaning shit, then, and not having a job, not having to like check in and like have your boss wipe your ass for you. It's just like, then you can actually like focus on like building something else. That's how I've been able to build the YouTube channel, the TikTok, my online courses and stuff, and the books and stuff, it's been awesome. It's an awesome extra way to make some extra money. And I'm still trying to grow that, still growing the business. So why not do all that shit? So anyways, let's keep going into that. So as far as like, inflation stuff, there's nothing we can do about it. Like, I know people are talking about like, oh, we need to let these people in. And as far as I'm concerned, none of them care. None of them give a fuck. It doesn't matter. It's like worrying about obesity in America. Yeah, there are fat people out there. That sucks, I guess. But is there anything that you can do about it? Can you go out and can you broadcast a message to the world like, hey, stop eating food. Put your fucking fork down. Stop eating so much shit. Go to the gym. And like it's just kind of ridiculous. Like, there's nothing we can do about it. Like, people are going to be fat. People are going to overeat. Inflation is going to go up. There's nothing we can do about it. But the only thing you can do is not be fat yourself. You can put your own spoon down. Make better choices. Go to the fucking gym. Like, it's not that hard to not be fat. Just like it's not that hard to not be broke. You gotta solve that within yourself. So I hope that makes sense. And then the next, kind of the main thing that I was really thinking about is I just started this new book. It's like usually I'll rotate, I'll read like a business book, then I'll read like a sci-fi book. I really like science fiction, but then my buddy recommended like a fantasy book, and it's really good so far. And I mean, sci-fi and fantasy are often very similar. I heard the author, I can't remember his name at the top of my head, but he wrote like Ender's Game. He said that the only difference between science fiction and fantasy is like whether there's trees on the cover of the book or there's like bolts or something. So it's pretty true. Like, at what level is science fiction like different than fantasy? Because if you looked at some of the stuff that we're doing nowadays, like with technology, like our grandparents would be like, that is black magic, or our great grandparents. I guess our grandparents weren't really talking about black magic or anything, but at some level it's indistinguishable. Science and technology and versus like magic and stuff. So interesting topic. So yeah, basically reading a fantasy book right now, and it's really good. And I won't really mention the book or necessarily the plot because it doesn't really matter. But it's just, every story is the same. Every like hero's journey is the same. The hero is like, we are introduced to his world. We get to see, okay, like something is clearly off with this world. Something's wrong. Like, the hero is like in trouble, or just things aren't right. Like, he's gonna have to do this to the evil empire, to the republic or whatever. Things just aren't right. But there's always that moment in the book where it turns out that the main character is special. He has something that is special inside of him. He's different than everyone else. Like, think about any story you can ever think of. Think of Luke Skywalker. Turns out his dad was one of the most evil Jedi of all time. Or, Harry Potter. Turns out his parents were famous, and he got a magic letter. Think about all these stories where like that is like such a central idea that you need to adopt that same mindset into yourself. And this is something that I've kind of thought about recently, and just over the past couple of years, because I remember reading a book a while ago that one of the chapters was, you need to think and believe that you are better, or that you need to be the best in your industry. And of course, people are some people are like, oh, like, you think you're better than everyone or whatever. But no, it's not about that. It's being about the best person you can fucking be. And going back to the story thing, like, I think so many people, because obviously you're watching this and you are the main character of your own life. Like, I'm more just like kind of just trying to guide you along. And because each one of us is our own main character. So if this is a central idea to every single book or like story that's actually good. I'm not talking about the woke bullshit stories nowadays where, you know, the woman's beating up 10 men in the movie and, you know, all that shit. I'm talking about the classic story, which is the man finds his purpose. The man goes on a journey. Something changes. Something, he makes the world as it should be. But it all starts with that one person believing he's special. And remember, in the hero's journey too, there is that moment too where the hero knows he's special, but he still rejects his calling. He still kind of, remember in Star Wars, like Luke was like, no, I don't want, this is not my fight. I don't want to get involved. But then his uncle and his aunt get killed by the stormtroopers. So then he has to take action. What's another good example? It's like, but it's just a central tenet that the hero always rejects his calling. That's another part of the thing. Or like, you know, Lord of the Rings, you know, Frodo, or like they don't want to do these things, but they have to. They know that they have to do these things. But like, take some water. It's getting a little heated in here with all the fire. So, but yeah, guys. So really think about that a little bit more with your life. Like, how can you become the main character? And if you really do believe you're the main character, which you should believe that, because a lot of people, I don't even know. I look around at people. I'll go to the store, you know, the bag checker or the person working at Taco Bell or something, and I just have this crazy, like, I don't know what emotion you could say, but you could say pity. I'm just like, I look at another man like working for $12 an hour, and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? What happened in your life, dude? But I mean, as far if you're looking at my life, you know, I'm obviously the main character, and they are just like little side characters. And so don't be the side character to someone else's life. You need to be the main fucking character in your life. And another topic that I really love, if you read Ben Settle at all, he's an email guru. Well, not guru, he hates that word, but I'll call him an email guru just because if he ever sees this, he'll laugh. But he lives over here on the West Coast, and he writes a lot about being a villain in your own life. And a lot of people take that kind of like negatively, but a villain doesn't necessarily mean a negative, because if you look at the hero versus the villain, the hero and the villain always have the same story. It's a very similar story. The hero had some fucked up shit happen to him. He's different, obviously, we've talked about that. But he wants to make the world a better place so that no one else has to suffer like he did. The villain, he had some fucked up shit happen to him. He's different also. But he wants to make the world suffer like he did. So if that makes sense. So you need to decide kind of where, obviously, I prefer you not make anyone suffer, because that is, I actually wrote this down too. That is like, for those of you who don't know, I was in the Navy Reserve for like 6 years. It was not that much fun. Would not necessarily recommend it. I wouldn't like not recommend it though if you have no idea what you're doing. And I've said this. People have asked me like, "Hey, I'm 19. What should I do? Should I go to college, or should I join the military?" And I wasn't really planning on getting into this topic. But when I was in the Navy, we did a couple exercises, one of them overseas, and we were with this detachment of Marines in our base. And it was really funny, the Marine mindset versus the Navy mindset. And I'm not necessarily saying that one is like hero versus the villain, but like my ass got stuck with the Marines. So I had to work with the Marine unit, and we got stuck on 12-hour shifts. Whereas the Navy, they got stuck on 6-hour shifts. So they only had to work 6 hours a day. And we were in a beautiful country, and it fucking sucked. But the Marines mentality was, if I have to suffer, you have to suffer too. So I tried to get out of it. I tried to get out of the 12-hour shifts, try to go back to my detachment in the Navy, but they weren't having it. The Marines were like, you fucking pussy, like you need to suffer with us. And that is the Marines mentality, which I hated that. So if anyone's thinking about like, which branch should I join, would not recommend the Marines, because they like to suffer together. And versus the Navy, we're a lot more chill. You know, it's like, how can we like all kind of just chill? And I know that's not maybe a good term for like the military, but believe me, bro, when you're sitting on watch for hours and hours, you're not doing anything. Like the military is an extremely boring place for a lot of jobs. Like everyone looks at the TV and they're like, oh, like people are shooting guns and stuff, but that's literally like 0.1% of the military. Most of it, like if we're being honest, the most that I learned from the military was like how to mop floors really well, like how to like clean, because you have to clean, like when you're in boot camp, you have to clean the whole barracks like 3-4 times a day, like spotless. So you learn how to clean really good. It's a good brotherhood mentality too. I mean, it's cool. But anyways, I got off on that topic. But don't have that mentality though. And if any Marines are watching this, like have a little bit, like just chill, bro. If people cannot, if you can make someone else's life better. So in that scenario too, like if I had been a bitch, I would have made a fuss and been like, well, those guys only have 6-hour shifts. Why do I have to do 12-hour shifts? But then the whole Navy would have gotten fucked. I would have just fucked them all over, because then whatever commander heard me say that would like, wait, they're only doing 6-hour shifts? Like, well, that's fucked. So it's either I just kind of suffer or I try and make everyone else suffer. And that's just not the mentality that you should be having. So back to the hero thing, back to the hero and villains thing. So Ben Settle, that's kind of how we got started on that topic. But the villain, like his whole angle and stuff too, which I think is really cool, is he likes to think of himself as the villain of his own life, because the villain is always proactive in their journey, and versus the hero is always reactive. And as we've said before, the hero kind of rejects his calling. He's not really sure what he wants to do. He's always reacting to the villain. So if you think about, like, this is more like classic like superhero stuff, like Superman and Lex Luthor, Batman and the Joker. Like the Joker's always got a plan. He's always like 10 steps ahead of everyone else, and the Batman has to catch up to him. And like, or Superman too, like Lex Luthor always has a plan, and Superman has to catch up to them. Obviously, in the books and movies, the hero always wins, but like, I like to think of it, and from my perspective too, like how can I be proactive? Like how can I have the villain mentality of like being proactive, but also have the hero's mentality of trying to make the world a better place for everybody? So that's kind of like my whole perspective on it. So those are some kind of, so check out some of his books though too. It's called the Villains series. You can look it up on Amazon. Really good read. You know, it's a really kind of cool perspective. And, you know, a lot of people don't talk about stuff like that anymore. We talk about all this, whatever, passive income, woke bullshit and stuff. And another thing too that I wanted to bring up was I saw a video like just like this recently, like a week ago. It was just a guy sitting at his desk talking, like very coherently, nothing crazy, like very calm. And it was kind of just refreshing, because like even videos, like even people that I like for the most part, like Mr. Beast, like a Mr. Beast video, that video is so fucking like stimulating. Like it's so much going on. Like they're talking like this and like, you need to go there. It's just like, it's exhausting like to watch those types of videos. Whereas like videos like this, I'm really trying to like put energy into it, and like hopefully you can feel how much like smoother and like you're actually getting something out of this, versus just like sapping your energy when you're watching garbage and stuff. And not saying that some of his videos are garbage, but it's just like it's a bag of potato chips. There's no nutrients in there. There's no value. It's just empty calories. You're just filling it in your mouth, which leads to the obesity problem. Back to that whole point. So I mean, because you can tell really quickly whether you eat something good or whether you eat something bad, or whether you're watching something good or bad. Like if you usually, yeah, I feel like Instagram is pretty bad recently. I'm probably gonna like unfollow like everybody on there, because it's just like anytime I get off Instagram, I feel drained. And I think YouTube Shorts as well is kind of like weird. TikTok is actually, the algorithm is so good that I actually fuck with TikTok, and that's why I post on it a lot, because I believe that, you know, if you make good content, it's gonna show that content to the right people. Like obviously you probably found me through one of those channels. So if you are posting on those channels, make it as good as you can. Like always try and ask yourself the question before you post something, is this going to make someone's day better? And if you can't answer that question, if it's just to get views, or if it's just to make money or sell some bullshit or talk about something stupid, don't fucking post it, man. Like that shit will always come back and haunt you. Like always do things, like do the right thing. And because I believe firmly that shit's always going to come back to you. It doesn't really matter in what way. So that is kind of today's message. I hope you got something out of it. We have more shit inside my like other channels and stuff. So watch some more of my videos. Check out my podcasts and stuff. Obviously, I have my inner circle group. So if you're looking to scale your business or start your home service business, we help guys do that. Make $500, $1,000, $2,000 a day cleaning stuff. So if you want to talk more, If you want to hop on the phone, cool. If not, I hope you enjoy this message. There'll be lots more coming out like this. So see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Spencer Clay Show. That's all for now. See you in the next episode. Peace.